Here and uncovering more by the day is the massive influence of communist money through Venezuela, Cuba, and likely China in the interference with our elections here in the United States. The Dominion voting systems, the Smartmatic technology software, and the software that goes in other computerized voting systems here as well, not just Dominion, were created in Venezuela at the direction of Hugo Chavez to make sure he never lost an election after one constitutional referendum came out the way he did not want it to come out. We have one very strong witness who has explained how it all works. His affidavit is attached to the pleadings of Lynn Wood in the lawsuit he filed in Georgia. It is a stunning, detailed affidavit because he was with Hugo Chavez while he was being briefed on how it worked. He was with Hugo Chavez when he saw it operate to make sure the election came out his way. That was the express purpose for creating this software. He has seen it operate, and as soon as he saw the multiple states shut down the voting on the night of the election, he knew the same thing was happening here, that was what had gone on. So I'm talking about some massive straight lines up in the vote tallies in the middle of the night after they've supposedly stopped counting. And that's when the Dominion operators went in and injected votes and changed the whole system. And it affects votes around the country, around the world, and all kinds of massive interests of globalists, dictators, corporations, you name it. Everybody's against us except President Trump and we the people of the United States of America. We will not be intimidated. American patriots are fed up with the corruption from the local level to the highest level of our government, and we are going to take this country back. We are not going to be intimidated. We are not going to back down. We are going to clean this mess up now. President Trump won by a landslide. We are going to prove it, and we are going to reclaim the United States of America for the people who vote for freedom.
So, if you're following along at home, according to the Trump campaign, not only did Trump win the election by millions of votes, but Cuba, China, and Venezuela all conspired to interfere in our election through a plot concocted by Hugo Chavez, the president of Venezuela, who died in 2013 with the help of his Dominion voting software, all under the cloak of darkness to ensure that Donald Trump would be deprived of a second term. All of the tinfoil in the world couldn't make a hat big enough for this conspiracy theory. Now, aside from the fact that this entire insane claim sounds like some Breitbart comment section rabbit hole, there are clearly no shortage of holes in her story. Sidney Powell is claiming that some deep state Democrats rigged the election with Dominion, but if that was the case, why didn't the Democrats remember to rig it to take the Senate? Why would we rig it to lose nearly a dozen seats in the House? Why would we rig it to fail to take state legislatures when redistricting is crucial? Why rig it so that Biden only wins by 14,000 votes in Georgia? Why not 50,000 or 100,000? Why make it so close? And if Democrats could just switch votes, then why would we need to block poll watchers like the campaign is claiming? Why not just let anyone watch, since it was apparently already rigged through the software? It's almost like, and bear with me here, this is all lunacy based on the fact that Trump doesn't like that he lost the election. Also, Georgia just completed its hand audit today. So even if Dominion tallied up different results than those that were actually cast, that would have been caught during the hand recount. But they found no such discrepancy, with Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, saying that there is, quote, no doubt that Joe Biden won the state.
Doubt in your mind after the audit, after the election, that Joe Biden has won the race in Georgia?
No, there's no doubt. The numbers support that. So does the audit.
And we're hearing from the Trump campaign that there's going to be another lawsuit filed. Has anyone presented any evidence to you of any major fraud?
No, we've not seen in the evidence that they've given us anything that really supports. It just doesn't show up. It doesn't work out. The numbers aren't there.
Meaning that, yet again, this is all nothing more than a completely baseless conspiracy theory. Consider too that this is Trump's lawyer making these claims, and the place where lawyers usually prove those claims is in a courtroom. And yet thus far, the Trump campaign is 1 for 31 in the courts. They have lost 30 out of 31 cases, and the only case they managed to win was in Pennsylvania, where they shortened the cure deadline in a certain Pennsylvania county from 9 to 6 days, which had zero impact on the outcome of the race. So if Sidney Powell wants to make these delusional claims, then fine, but the burden of proof lies with her and the rest of Trump's allies, and thus far, they have almost nothing to show for it. But for Trump's campaign and legal team, it's not about having any coherent set of facts, it's only about winning in the court of public opinion. They know that the facts aren't on their side. They know that they didn't get enough votes to win the election. They know they have no path to victory in the Electoral College. But the point here is just to say that they did in public press conferences like this one to get enough of their supporters to believe them, and then hopefully build enough of a public pressure campaign to try and convince Republican officials not to certify the results and convince state officials to rewrite the laws to basically hand the electors over to Trump. This is arguably the most dangerous disinformation campaign to exist in the history of this country. And I'll just say two things about this. First, it's not going to work. We'll hear random rumblings and we may see random rogue Trump sycophants bend to his will, but the results are being certified as we speak, and by Monday, most states that Trump is contesting will be certified for good. And beyond that, states have laws on the books requiring that electors be appointed based on the popular vote in that state. And even if Republicans did try to change the law, it wouldn't be retroactive. And beyond that, we've already heard from Republican officials in states like Michigan and Pennsylvania batting down that idea, so it's dead on arrival anyway. But even if a state legislature did do it, it wouldn't just take one state, and it wouldn't just take 2 states, it would actually take 3 states to swing the Electoral College, and there will be not 1 state, much less 3. All of that is to say, it's not gonna happen. But second, what it will do is brainwash half of the country into losing trust in our free and fair elections, and that they likely will succeed in. Their goal is to ensure that all Americans don't trust the very system that we rely on in choosing who governs us. In other words, to destroy our faith in government itself, all because Trump's ego is too fragile to accept the fact that he lost. But the implications here extend far beyond just this election. The thing about a democracy is that it only works if everyone involved agrees to abide by its rules. You can't have a 2-party system with one party that accepts the election results whether they win or not, while the other party only accepts them when they win. That will quite literally signal the end of democracy. So at this point, Republicans have a decision to make. They can either continue going along with the charade on the basically 0% chance that Trump actually does successfully stage a coup while helping erode trust in the very foundation of our democracy that they're claiming to be a party to, or they can grow a spine and take the bare minimum step of acknowledging reality that Joe Biden won the election. This shouldn't even require courage. This is the equivalent of acknowledging the weather. It happened. It's a fact. Biden won by almost 6 million votes in the popular vote and an electoral college margin of 306 to 232. No matter how much this fact hurts Donald Trump's feelings, that doesn't change that the American people have spoken. If you like this video, please check out my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I take a deep dive into the week's most important stories and interview major players in politics, including Kamala Harris, Katie Porter, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Eric Swalwell, Mary Trump, Al Franken, Cory Booker, and many, many more. Again, that's No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, available anywhere you listen to podcasts.